Hi everyone. The continuation of tomorrow's test class. What is that? Q. Yes, this is now the next topic is circular Q. For example, the size of the Q is 5 here. And what is the problem with what is the drawback with the Q is? For example, the values are 4 and 5. The values of 4 and 5 like this, and here is the rear. Here is the front, and here is the rear. If I am going to enter, if I am going to click on NQ, it is showing that the queue is already full. But there are 3 blocks are free here. But it is showing that queue is full. To overcome this one, the queue is going to be working like a circular queue. Just look at this second figure here. This is going to be a circular queue. For example, if it is 0th position, for example, here it is going to be some 3, and here it is going to be some 4 here, and here is rear, and here is the front. For example, like this. Now I am going to insert a data. That means I am going to click on NQ. Automatically I am going to enter 100 here, and the rear is coming to this position. Rear is coming to this position. That means the rear is going to be located at the last position, at the first position. It is coming like this. Again I am going to insert one more value. It is going to be insert here, and again it is coming to insert like this, and now rear is going to place in this position. Okay, look at now, the queue is full now. When the queue is full, for example, if front is equal to 0, at the same time rear is equal to n minus 1. At this position, if the two conditions are satisfied, the queue is full. And one more condition is there. And what is that? If f is equal to some rear is equal to f plus 1, either this condition or this condition, if any condition is satisfied, that means the queue is full here. The queue is full at both these conditions. The queue is full. When the queue is empty, at this position only, rear is equal to front is equal to minus 1. At this position only, queue is empty. But here I am going to change one. When NQ, we are going to check is the queue is full or not. If the two conditions has to be checked, what is that? Front has to be at 0. At the time, R is going to be in the last position, n minus 1, or rear is equal to front minus 1, front plus 1. Look at here. At this position also, what is the R value? R value is 2. R is locating at 2, and front is at 3. Rear plus 1 is equal to F. R plus 1 is equal to F. Sorry. R plus 1 is equal to F. Okay. And what is the next one? For example, if R is at this position, and front is at this position, that means the first condition, if f is equal to 0 and r is equal to n minus 1, if n is 5, at this position also the queue is full, and this position r plus 1 is equal to f, that is also queue is full. Now I am going to write one more thing. What is that? For example, R mod 1 at this position, for example, f is at 0, r is at 4, r plus 1 mod size. What is this value? R plus 1. What is R value? R value is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 mod 5. 5 mod 5 is 0. That means f is at what position? F is at 0 position. We have to check like this. For example, I am going to write it again. if R is at this position and F is at this position. Look at again. What is R value? What is R position? R position is 2. 2 plus 3. 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 mod 5. 3 mod 5 is 3 mod 5 is 3 again. That is equal to F. That means instead of these two conditions, we can use only this condition is enough to check is the Q is full or not. Instead of using these two conditions, we can use this condition. We can use this also, no problem for that. Okay. Now I am going to write here the pseudocode. For example, NQ of some value. NQ of some value here. That means, for example, I am going to NQ of some 5 or 4 like that. NQ of. First of all, what we have to check? We have to check is the Q is full or not. What is the condition for that? If R plus 1 mod N is equal to front. That means we are going to represent Q is full at this position. Yes, Q is full at this position. Q is full at this position. For example, else if, and the next condition. For example, when I am going to insert a value to the empty queue, that means there is no value in the queue. That means what is the position instantly? The rear and the front is at -1. If both are at -1, where I am going to insert? I am going to insert at 0 position, and I am going to relocate front and rear both to 0 position, right? Now I am going to check here else if R is equal to -1 and front is equal to -1. If both are at -1, what we have to do? We have to modify rear is equal to front is equal to 0. Then I am going to insert, for example, Q, circular Q, name is CQ. CQ of rear is equal to value. CQ of rear is equal to value here. I am going to modify the rear and front to 0. That means now the values, the front and rear are going to locate at this position, and I am going to insert the value 10 here. Okay, this is the second condition. The first condition is we are going to check is the Q is full or not. And the next case, else. The last case, this is the last case. What we have to do? For example, now I am going to insert a 20. Now I am going to insert 20 here. Now I am going to insert a 20. First of all, rear is going to be +1. That means the rear is going to be placed at this position. And now I am going to insert a 20 here. There is no problem, right? There is no problem. When we are inserting the values, just I am going to be R++ and I am going to add it. But one problem is there. What is that? For example, it is going to be 30 and it is going to be 40 and it is going to be 50. To overcome that loop, the drawback of the Q here. For example, front is at this position and Q or rear is at this position. Now I am going to insert one value, that is, for example, 10. If I am going to R++, means R index is 5. That is not a valid index, right? Now what we have to do? I am go back to the 0th position. For example, here every time if R mod r mod n, r plus 1, sorry, r plus 1 mod n. What is the value now? What is r plus 1? 5 plus 1, 4 plus 1, 5, 5 mod 5 is equal to 0 here. Okay, 0. For example, rear is at this position. For example, rear is at this position. Now I am going to add one more value. Again I am going to check 0 plus 1. 1 mod 5 is 1. That means instead of r plus plus, what I am doing, r is equal to r mod r plus 1 mod n. N is the size of the cube. Okay. What I am doing, instead of r is equal to r plus 1, what I am doing here, r is equal to r plus 1 mod n. This condition is working for the circular cube. If it is at the last position, it is going back to the first position because of this single statement. Okay. Now I am going to add here CQ of r is equal to value. This is the algorithm for NQ for the circular cube. Okay, first of all we are going to check. Is Q is full or not. Look at the condition. Here. Okay, then if I am going to insert a value, if both are at in the initial stage, what we have to do? We have to reset the values f and r to 0, and then I am going to add the value here. But for the normal values, instead of r is equal to r plus 1, I am going to do small adjustment here. R is equal to r plus 1 mod n. Okay. Then I am going to add the value. Just note it down, everyone. NQ algorithm. In this way, the circular queue is going to be working here. This is outcome of simple queue. And now I am going to work on a DQ. DQ means I am going to delete the values from the queue here. For example, if this is going to be 10 and this is going to be 20. And this position and reset this position. I am going to DQ here. If I am clicking on a DQ, F is going to be plus plus. That's it, nothing else. F is going to be plus plus. F is going to be plus plus. F is going to be plus plus. If F is single value, if F is F and R at the same position, for example, F and R at the same position, F and R at the same position, F and R at the same position, that means it is only single value. It is only, the queue contains only single value. If I am going to delete at this time, I am going to reset the rear and the front is equal to -1. First of all, we are going to check when the DQ is the queue is empty with this condition. If rear is equal to -1 and front both are at -1, the queue is empty. Okay. For the normal process, I am going to every time F plus plus. That is only one thing. Okay. But if both are at the same position, that means the list has only one element. Now I am going to reset rear and front to -1. Very simple algorithm, as very similar to a simple queue. Void PQ. What I am going to check here, I am going to check if R is equal to -1. Straight. Here, instead of checking For example, rear is at this position. I am going to check here. For example, I am going to give some empty position. Empty position, that is not a problem here. I am going to write here rear is equal to -1 and front is equal to -1. Both are at same position. Both are at same position. The Q is, that is, both are at -1. Q is empty. Q is empty. Q is empty. Else if both are at same position, if both are at same position, if both are at same position, both are at same position means the Q contains only single value. Only single value. Now I am going to reset both front and rear is equal to -1. Both front and rear is equal to -1. Okay. Now, if this is the normal stage, right? This is the normal stage. I am going to delete the value from the front. I am here. I am telling that f plus plus. Here I am telling that f plus plus. But instead of f plus plus, I am going to write here front is equal to front plus 1 mod n. Front plus 1 mod n. Why? Because I am going to tell you with an example here. Just wait. Front is at this position, R is at this position. Okay, front is at this position, front is at third position and rear is at second position. Now, every time I am going to delete the values, every time f plus plus means I am going to delete 40 and 50. But if f plus plus means, then we are not moving forward. We have to go back to the 10 and we have to delete it. Like this, right? That's why instead of every time f plus plus, I am going to write f is equal to f plus 1 mod n. For example, now I am going to write what is f value? F is locating at 3. 3 plus 1, that is 4. 4 mod 5. 4 mod 5 is 4 mod 5 is f is incremented. Yes, f is incremented to 4. Now again, now f is at this position. Now f is at this position. That means these values are deleted. These values are deleted. Now f plus 1. What is f plus 1? 4 plus 1, 5. 5 mod 5. That is going to be 0. That means f is moving back to the first position. That's why instead of writing f plus plus, here I am writing f is equal to f plus 1 mod n, where n is the size of the list. That's it, nothing else. If you want to print the value, just simply we can write print circular Q of f and we have to increment the value. That's it. Okay, this is the algorithm for DQ operation. For the circular Q, instead of f plus plus, we are going to do f is equal to f plus 1 mod n. That means if you reach the final position but some elements are there in the queue, then we are going back to the 0th location. Then we are going back to the 0th location using this statement. Just observe here and here also we are doing the same operation. That means if you are reaching the last position, but some elements are still in the queue, what we have to do? We have to come back to the original first position and we have to delete it. That's why we are writing this one. Okay, at this position we are going to insert the value. But it is at in the rear is at in the last position, but it has some empty blocks in the first. Then we are moving into front using this condition. Note down this DQ. In the circular queue also, all some insertion and deletion the time complexity is order of 1, no doubt about that. Every time we are doing just deleting, that's it. Inserting also only one click, there is no for loops at all, right? There is no for loops. We are doing one operation. That's why the order is order of 1 only. Okay, the time complexity is order of 1. That's it. Okay, then next question. The next queue is DQ, double-ended queue. Double-ended queue. That is going to be double-ended queue. Double-ended queue means here, for example, both rear and front is there. We can work. That means if you want to delete our insertion at the both ends, that is a double-ended queue. That means we can perform the operations. That means we can delete element from rear and front both. Same insertion also we can delete. We can insert at both positions, front and rear also. That is a double-ended queue. Okay. How many operations are there? There are totally 4 operations are there. NQ, front, NQ front, NQ at rear, NQ at front and NQ at rear, and DQ at front, DQ at rear. These 4 operations we have to work on these 4 operations for double-ended queue. Double-ended queue. There are 4 operations totally. That is NQ front, NQ rear, NQ DQ front, and DQ rear. Order, the time complexity for all the operations is order of 1. Okay, that's why the queue is very powerful. Every time we want to delete or we want to insert any value, the time complexity is order of 1 only. It is going to be implemented with the circular array concept only. Using that circular array concept only, we are going to implement this double-ended queue. Or we can use some double linked list also. We can implement this double-ended queue. Now I'm going to tell you one by one operation. One by one operation. First of all, insert at front. That is NQ at front. NQ at front. For example, here if NQ operation is going, just note down if it is front minus minus. Okay, every time front is going to be decremented when NQ at front. At NQ at rear R plus plus. R plus plus. Okay, just note it down. That's small hints. That's it. Nothing else. Then F plus plus. DQ at front. DQ at front. F is going to be plus plus, and it is going to be R minus minus. This is the base conditions. That means when we are dealing with NQ at front, that means we are going to insert at front. Front is going to be decremented. Okay. If you are going to insert at rear, rear is going to be incremented. Again the same thing. If you are delete at front, if you are deleting at front, front is going to be incremented. If you are deleted at rear, and rear is going to be decremented. I will show you. For example, see, here is some 7 and here is some 8 values are there, and this is front and this is rear. For example, I am taking 2 values, front and rear. Now I am going to click on NQ front. NQ at front. What happens now? For example, if you don't know F plus plus, I'm writing here NQ of some 10. NQ front at NQ front 10. NQ front 10 value. Now what will happen if it is NQ at front? F is going to be minus minus and we have to place at F. Okay, that means F is minus minus. F is minus minus means F becomes 1 and here I am going to place the 10. Okay. Now again I am going to click on NQ at front at 20. NQ front at 20. Now it is going to be like this. Now the front is going to be here. Now again I am clicking that NQ front of 30. Again it is going to be front minus minus. No, not like that. If it is reaching 0, it is going to this position, and here front is going to be represent here and that is going to be placed here. Front is not representing at this value. Okay, this is NQ at front. Okay, is it clear? Every time if I am doing NQ front, front is going to be decremented. But when it is reaching one end, it is going back to last position. Okay, note this point, everyone. Now I'm going to delete all these things. Yes, I'm going came back to the original position. Now instead of NQ front, I'm going to NQ at rear. NQ rear of 10, for example. At this position, NQ rear of 10. That means just look at this one. NQ rear is R plus plus. R plus plus. That means R is going to be incremented here, and I am going to insert 30 here. Sorry, 10. From 30, for example. Now I am going to click on again NQ 10. Every time it is R plus plus, then there is no perfect index here. Now R is going back to here, and here it is going to be display 10 here. Insert the 10 value there. Yes, I think everyone understand the first two operations, right? NQ front and NQ rear. Now I am going to write the logic and pseudocode for the two operations. First of all, NQ front and NQ rear. For double-ended queue, okay, for double-ended queue, void NQ front of value. Now I am going to check every time is queue is full or not. At what position the queue is full? At what position queue is full? When we are studying about the circular queue, when it is going to be full, R plus 1 mod n is equal to F. Here also we are going to check the same thing. There is no modification at all. Here also if. Why? Because we are applying the double-ended queue using circular queue. That means if we are reaching one point, we are going back to the first position, right? That's why I am writing here R plus 1 mod n is equal to F. At this position Q is full. Everyone knows these things. Else if both are at -1, what is that? The queue is empty. Now I am going to insert one value. What I have to do? This one is also everyone knows. F is equal to 1 and rear is equal to -1. At this position, we have to reset. We have to set both the values at 0, and we have to NQ double-ended queue DQ of R is equal to front, right? This is front is equal to value. DQ of front is equal to value. Okay. and one more condition is there. One more condition is there. In circular queue, there is only two conditions. Then the third one is else spot. Here, four conditions are there. What is that? If f is zero, we have to move to f is equal to n minus 1. N minus 1, we have to move to n minus 1 and dq of f is equal to value. Dq of f is equal to value. Else this is the last condition. Now f minus minus and we are going to dq of f is equal to value. Okay, if you are reaching one position, if you are reaching f is equal to 0 position, then we are going to f is equal to n minus 1, the last value, the last position I am going to reach it. Okay, if f is at this position, for example, f is at this position, rear is at this position, and here some 20 is there, and front is at this position. That means front is at what position? Front is at 0 position. Front is at 0 position. Now I am going to decrement it. But there is no minus 1 index, right? That's why I am going back to the here. I'm going to top of the position. That's why I am writing if f is equal to 0, then I am going to move f is equal to n minus 1 here. Now I am going to insert at this last position. Okay. And for the remaining all the things, f minus minus, this is the base condition, right? F minus minus. If nq is nq front means f minus minus every time. This is the all the remaining cases. This is nq front condition. nq front condition. Now nq at rear. nq at rear. Just note down everyone. nq front. If you observe here, this is a dq double-ended q. That means we can, if you take nq front and dq front, nq front and dq front, it is working as a stack. If you observe here, the double-ended q, the stack is also we can make with double-ended q. Okay, that means anyone, for example, nq at rear and dq at rear. That means both the insertion and deletion are working on the same position, right? That is called stack. We can develop a stack using a double-ended queue. Okay, that is the application also. This is the nq at front. And the next one is wide nq at rear. nq at rear of value. Here also I am checking that the all these two are same. All these two are same, but instead of f I am going to write r. That's it. The two conditions are same, and else we are going to check if r is equal to n minus 1. That means if r is reached the last position, for example, front is at here and rear is at this position. Now I am going to insert. Now I am going to insert a value. If it is at last position, what we have to do? We have to change r value to 0, and I am going to insert 50 at this position, right? That's why if is at last position, I am going to make it as R is equal to 0 and dq of R is equal to value. That's it, very simple. Else for all remaining parts, what do we have to do? NQ at rare every time R plus plus and dq of R is equal to value. That's it. dq of R is equal to value. This is the double-ended Q at NQ at rare position. Okay, this is insertion for both front and rear. This is the algorithm for NQ at rare. If you are reaching the last position, we are automatically going back to the first position. For the all remaining cases, every time we are going to R plus plus and we increment value. That's it, nothing else. Okay, this is NQ at rare. Just note down, everyone. The applications for this double-ended queue is undo and redo. Mainly, the application is, for example, I'm going to do the previous action and the last performance actions every time. This is going to be developed in double-ended queue only. Okay, and these are also working for palindrome check. That means we have to check at this position and we have to check at this position, right? One control is coming here like this and one is coming like this. We can work with double-ended queue using palindrome check also. Okay, the next one is next two operations, that is DQ front and DQ rear. DQ front and DQ rear. DQ front and DQ rear. First of all, I am going to work with DQ front. If DQ is working for front, F is going to be plus plus. The F is incremented. Okay, F is incremented. Now I am going to work on DQ front. What happened now? F is going to be incremented. That's it. Nothing else. F is going to be incremented. That's it. That means it is going to be deleted. Yes. Now at this position. Just wait. This is 10. With 30. Front is here and rear is at here. Okay, that means the queue is full at this time, right? Now I am going to delete DQ at front. DQ at front. Now automatically it is going to front. That means F is going to be incremented. F is going to be incremented, and that means 8 is going to be deleted here, and F is incremented like this. Now again I am doing DQ at front. DQ at front. That means the 30 is going to be deleted, but this time F is not incremented. F is if F is at last position, I am going back to the first position. F is going to be going back to the first position. That is the logic for the DQ for front. Now I am going to develop that DQ at front. Right? DQ at front. Okay, there is no value for DQ operations. DQ at front. For example, what is the empty condition? If front is equal to -1 and rear is equal to -1, that means Q is empty. Q Q is empty. Else, if both are at same position, that means that is the last value, that is the only one value, then F is equal to R is equal to -1. If both are, we know all these things. Then else if F is at last position, what we have to do? We have to do F is equal to 0. We have to go back to the first position. Then else, this is the main condition. In the main condition, what we have to do? DQ front every time F plus plus. That's it. Nothing else. If you want to delete, if you want to show the value, just print DQ of F, then it is going to be incremented. Okay, very simple algorithm it is. If both are at negative -1, Q is empty, no doubt about that. Yes, if both are at same position, that is the last value, right? That's why we are using then we are going back to the F and R is equal to -1. Okay, if F is at the last position, what we have to do? We are going back to the first position. For all the remaining cases, what we have to do? We have to print the value and F plus plus. That's it. This is a DQ at front. The next one is DQ at rear. Okay, and DQ at rear position. Just look at here. DQ at rear. What happens here? R minus minus. That means if I am going to click on DQ rear, it is going to be deleted. R is moving back. Here. Okay, this is the general case and typical case. For example, this is 10. This is 20. This is going to be reset this position. Reset this position and front is at this position. Reset this position and front is at this position. Okay. Now look at if I'm going to click on DQ rear. DQ rear means we are going to delete the value, right? Now R minus minus. That means it is going to be deleted. It is not here. For example, it is going to be here. For example, rear is at this position. For example, now I am going to delete the value. At this position, no problem for rear value. It is going to be decremented and it becomes R minus minus and R goes to this position. Now again I am clicking that DQ of rear. Now what happened? I am at the starting position. I am going back to the last position. Okay, that means we are going to erase here and we have to move here. Front is not here really. The front is at this position. Now rear is going to delete this 10 and rear is going to this position. Okay, like this it is going to be working. Now void DQ at rear position. The two conditions are common here. These two conditions are common. When both are at minus 1, q is empty. If both are at same position, that is the last element. Else if n is at 0 position, right? F is at 0 position, not F, that is rear is equal to 0 position. It is at 0 position. I am going to n is equal to r is equal to n minus 1 to the last position. Then else for the remaining all cases r minus minus. That's it. Before deleting it, I am going to print the value of dq of r. That's it. This is the operation for dq things. Here also we are going to show the value. Here also we have to show the value like this. Here also we have to show the value. Also we have to show the value. This is dq at rear value. Okay, this is dq operation. dq at rear operation. Okay, now I want to display all the values in the dq. How I am going to execute it? For example, f is at this position, r is at this position. Now I am going to display all the values in the queue. Every time we have to start at any value, either r or f, no problem. I have to start at front and I have to stop at rear, or else we have to start at rear and we have to stop at front. For example, if you are starting at rear, we have to decrement it. That means if you f is at +1 position, that means these two values are not in the queue, right? We have to decrement the r value every time, and we have to going back this, and the output is going to be 7, 20, 10, 30 and 8 is the output. Okay, if you are starting at rear, okay, for example, if you are starting at front, what is the output here? 8, 30, 10 and 20 and 7. This is the difference between when we are choosing. If you are starting at rear, the output is different, and if you are starting at front, the output is different. Okay, right? I will work on these things. How to display the values. Void display. For example, I am going to start at rear. Okay, for example, I am going to start at rear. I am going to work st is not equal to front. st is not equal to front. st is not equal to front. I am going to display dq of st. But here I am not decrementing or incrementing. Instead of that one, I am going to write here some st is equal to where I started here. I started at rear, right? That's why st minus 1 mod en. For example, we have to put a bracket here. And for example, the st is at this position. st at this position. I am going to display 7. I am going to display 7, and I am going to work st minus 1. What is st minus 1? 1 mod 5 is 1. Then st becomes like this. Okay, again I am going to display 20, and again st minus 1 is 0 mod 5. That is going to be ST is going to be moving like this. Okay, like this it is going to be working, and instead of this one we are going to write if ST is equal to 0. Simple something, it is not working, I think. If ST is equal to 0, we have to ST is equal to n minus 1 else ST minus ST is equal to ST minus 1. Every time we are going to decrement it. Okay, that's it, nothing else. Instead, that is, I think that is not working. Just go for this one, it is going to be work, no doubt. Okay, in this way we are going to display the Q values. We can start at both the rear and front, no problem. Mostly we are going to be starting at front. Most cases we are going to be started front to rear. That is the correct one. Okay, and that is about detailed concept of DQ. Just in the pseudocode, every time just ask you that is it perfect or not, like this. Okay, and this is also not perfect. Why? Because if ST is equal to front, this 8 is not displaying at this position. We have to write after the while loop, we have to write print DQ of front. Then only it will be display the 8 value. By using this logic, the last 8 value is not printed here. If using this one, then it will be printed. Okay, the small mistakes is there, just we have to check on all these things. Just we have to know about what is the clear idea about circular queue, DQ, and simple queue and stack, I think, right? These are the different types of queues here. Now I am moving into small intro about linked list. Linked list, what is the need of linked list? Why we are going for linked list? Why we go for linked list means arrays concept. For example, I am going to take E of 5 here. That means it is only for 5 values, but I want to put one more value into the same array. That is not done, right? That means it is only restricted to the only 5 values. Can I increase the value at the runtime? No, I cannot. For that, the linked list is coming here. The linked list is coming here. Why? Because if you want to add more values, the size of the list is going to be changed dynamically based on the user. Then we go for a linked list. Okay, and the array is also a linear data structure. That linked list is also a linear data structure. Then what is the difference between array and linked list? That is the dynamically allocated. The linked list is dynamically allocated, but array is statically allocated. But one more thing is there. What is that? Array is a linear data structure with consecutive memory locations. If you want to know that, for example, in array values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values is there. For example, print the address of the values instead of printing print E of I, instead of printing E of I, just everyone work that ampersand E of I using some percentage U. Just print the values. It is going to give the address values of all the elements. For example, first value's address is 100, the second value is 104 if the integer is 4 bytes, and the second one is 108, and the second one is 1112, like this. They are placed in a consecutive memory locations. But when we are going for linked list, this is also a linear data structure, but not consecutive. It is a non-consecutive linear data structure. That means one number is going to be placed in 100 location, and the second number is going to be placed in another location. We don't know the address of another variable. Okay, one is at one position, that is one, like this. The values are not placed in a continuing memory locations. That is the difference between array and linked list. One more, okay? That's it. And what are the different types of linked lists? First one is a single linked list, simple linked list, and the single linked list. And the second one is circular linked list. Third one is double linked list, and the fourth one is circular double linked list. Linked list, circular linked list, double linked list, circular double linked list. Okay, just I will take 5 more minutes. First of all, linked list here. Linked list. Every time when we go for linked list, we are going to create a node. The terminology is called node here. We are going to separate the two parts. In single linked list, the node has the two parts only. Only two parts. The first part is value, and the second part is address. Address of next node. Address of next node. We have to maintain a connection between the first node and the second node, right? That's why we are taking two parts here. First one is value, that means 10 or 20 like that, integer value or character value, anything. And the second one is address of the next node. For example, one more node is there. For example, one more node is there. Here also it is going to be value here, and it is also address here. For example, this address is 100 and this address is 200. Now I am going to maintain a link between these two. That means I am going to maintain a link like this. I am maintaining a link like this. I am maintaining a link like this. Like this. There is a link. The link is going to be like this, 200. Here I am placing what I am placing here. I am placing address of the node. Address of the node here. Address of the node. This is the value. This is the first node. First node is going to be placed in one variable that is called head. Head is equal to 100 here. Head is a value. Head is a variable that is going to be stored the address of the first value, first node's value. This is the terminology. What is this one? This one is a node. This one is every part is node here. Node has two parts. First one is value. The second one is address of the next node. And the first node's address is placed in head variable. Head variable. If this is the last one, if this is the last node, we have to represent with this null value. We have to represent with this null value. Okay, this is the basic structure of a linked list. How to create a node here? How to create a node? Creation of node in C language or CPP, anything, it is going to be changed. Why? Because we are going to we have a data type, right? We have to integer data type, but this is the data type now. That means we are going to create a new data type. What data type it is? I want one integer value, and the second one is address of the node. Address of the node, that is not an integer address, not a character address. It is a address of the node. That means I am going to create one structure. If it is C, I am going for structure, and the name of the structure is a node. And one part is integer. Okay, one part is integer, and the second one is, what is the second one? Address of the next node. Address of the next node. Okay, that means what is the, that is not integer address, right? For example, I am writing like this. I am writing like this. That means the address is going to be store address of another integer variable. Integer variable, it is only the capacity of storing the integer variable's address. But here I am not storing the address of integer variable. I am going to store the address of struct node. I am going to place the total node, right? Total node. This is the structure of node here. Struct node, int value. First one is the value. Second one is the address of the node. Okay, that's it for today. I'm going to stop here. Thank you very much. Practice everything beyond this one. Practice the how the trees are working, binary trees, and everything. You have to read it, all the theoretical concepts. Okay, thank you very much.